are closing in slowly from either side onto these boats. And I anticipate fairly soon the smaller boats filled with soldiers will intercept and perhaps attack these vessels. But we'll have to wait and see. At the moment, we're waiting to see how the Israeli military react to the response they've been given so far. They look like they're about 8 kilometers away, but that distance and that gap is closing, and people are deciding what to do and how to react as the situation develops. The first thing that they always do is try and instill fear on the passengers on the boat. Passengers, there's only 6 activists on this ship, 15 activists on the other ship. The rest of the passengers on this ship are journalists. They said that they will only offer passive resistance. They'll tell the Israelis that this is an act of piracy. It's illegal. They will not disembark the boat voluntarily. They'll have to be dragged off, and the boat will have to be dragged to Ashdod if it's going to be dragged anywhere.
Let's cross over now to London. Press TV's Roshan Mohammed Saleh joining us on the line. Roshan, you talked to Hassan minutes before the aid convoy was intercepted by the Israeli Navy, and we did broadcast the interview, a little part of it being broadcast now. At the same time, we did try to talk to Hassan, but it was not possible to establish contact with him. Can you give us what he did tell you in the last contact that you had?
Yes, Hama. Well, you won't be able to talk to Hassan now because effectively all communications have been jammed by the Israelis, and I assume that the Israelis have boarded the 2 ships and have probably dragged the activists and the journalists, the foreign nationals on those ships onto an Israeli warship, and that's headed towards Ashdod, the port in Israel now. And obviously they'll be towing the ships as well. I mean, Hassan was calm. He's a very experienced reporter. He's been on these flotillas a few times now, but he did express surprise that the Israelis had intercepted so late when they were just 45 kilometers from the coast of Gaza, but still in international waters. There was a lot of optimism amongst the activists that they would reach Gaza and break the siege of Gaza, but that was dashed when they saw these 8 Israeli warships. He described it as half the Israeli Navy on the horizon, an extreme act of overkill, because obviously these people on the ships are peaceful protesters, not offering violent resistance at all. Hassan seemed to think that the boat would be boarded, that they would be dragged onto an Israeli warship, that they would be taken to Ashdod. He also expressed concern for the one Palestinian on board, either one of the ships who has Israeli nationality. There was concern over what might happen to him. And Hassan also expressed concern about himself, really, because he has been kidnapped by the Israelis before, and the Israelis told him never to come back on an Attila again. Obviously, he works for Press TV, which is an Iranian channel. Obviously, relations between Israel and Iran don't exist. So he's a little bit concerned over what might happen to him and how he will be treated. But we must stress that he is a British national, and the British government has a duty to protect him and put pressure on their Israeli allies to protect what is, after all, a British national.
And on that point, Roshan, what reaction are we expecting from the British government? There are a number of British nationals on board, we're hearing, the aid convoy, besides Hassan himself.
Well, Press TV has made representations to the British Foreign Office explaining the situation, that effectively one of our colleagues was kidnapped in an act of international piracy in international waters. Hassan's father has also made representations to the British government, so they know of the case of Hassan as well as the other foreign nationals that are on those ships. Obviously, we must understand that Israel and the UK are close allies, so we're not exactly expecting miracles from the British. They don't condemn Israel. They don't condemn Israel's blockade of Gaza. When British nationals are in trouble abroad, yes, perhaps they make representations, but they hardly move heaven and earth. That is what I've heard from many contacts who have been stuck in situations like this, including Hassan in the past. But we do expect them to make representations to their Israeli allies, to treat well British nationals. And that's exactly what Hassan is, the British national, so the British government has a duty of care towards a fellow British national.
Roshan Mohammed Saleh, our correspondent in London there. Thank you very much, Roshan.
After Later, they were intercepted in international waters and told to change course. A correspondent on board one of the ships says it was shadowed by Israelis in international waters as it approached the besieged Gaza Strip. 27 activists are on board the Irish and Canadian ships that are carrying humanitarian supplies to Gaza. If you recall, last year Israeli commandos attacked a Turkish 8 Flotilla ship, killing 9 activists on board. Critics consider the blockade collective punishment of the 1.5 million Gaza residents.